All right. While we are still, people keep logging in, maybe we give people a couple more minutes before we start. Hi, everybody. If you want to turn on your camera, that's encouraged. We want to see your face. Of course, if it's not convenient, that's fine as well. It's very good to see some young kids also in front of camera.
I saw Zong on the on the joining too.
Yes. Hi, everybody. We really appreciate you joining this very exciting event. While people are logging in, so let's give just maybe wait for 1 more minute, then we will start the program. Wow, I see some soccer player already. I saw swimmers. Hi, Grace. I saw Grace right there. I saw Alan.
Yeah, so are they on muted by the host?
Yeah, they are. It's default is muted. They cannot turn it on because this might create quite a bit of sound in an uncontrolled way.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how maybe after our presentation, if I can see whether I can set up the mechanism for them, either ask a question through chat or they raise their hand. Maybe I can unmute them and let them to to ask their question. That might also be possible. I'll figure that out down the road.
Okay.
Shujaja, I think you are the only person can mute them or unmute them. If you can try mine and
I can do I unmute you? Yeah. Okay. Oh, good. Okay, I can control. That's good. So hi, everybody. I think let's get started. This is a very, very exciting event. I would like to thank the Asian American Soccer Academy to organize this really fun, but I see as a very important event. Let me introduce myself a little bit. My name is Yi Cui. I'm Cui Yi in Chinese. I'm a professor in material science engineering at Stanford University here. I've been a faculty for 15 years now. Well, you might want to ask why I become the moderator of this event. Well, I can tell you the reason is sport has been a very important part of my life. I play soccer since I was 10 years old. Not too young yet, so I wish I could start even earlier, but just the condition didn't allow at the time, you know. So along my whole career, I have been playing soccer. I certainly studied hard. You know, I grew up in China, moving all the way from China to US for graduate school, getting my PhD at East Coast at Harvard, and went to UC Berkeley as a postdoc. And 15 years ago, Stanford hired me and said, "Hi, come over. We made you an offer to become the faculty." So I started my tenure track position at Stanford, and then after tenure, I stayed here. Also, along the way, I invented a number of technologies, starting out several companies. During this process, I can tell you the soccer is still an important part of my life. So today it's really exciting. You look at the topic, right? We want you to see either you are parents or you are young kids right here. It's the youth sport in United States. What are we cultivating? That's the topic today. So today is a particularly honor for me to have several panelists right here. they are representing, I would say, really wide spectrum of people, the career path, but they are all linked together by one thing. They are all soccer players. And they all can share with you what sports really mean to a kid's growth and to one's personal life development and career development. So today, these panelists, we have total of 5, with the age group ranging from college, Stanford freshman, now going to sophomore, all the way to very successful entrepreneur, can share with you what they think, what their experience is. Let me now introduce our 5 panelists one by one to you. The first one, I'll start from our most junior person, but highly accomplished. His name is Max Lau. Max, do you want to wave hands to everybody? Max is a Stanford University team soccer player. He's local here, really straight out from high school, now joining Stanford for about a year. I'm sure he has a lot of fresh story to share with you, particularly for the young kids right here, right? His age is only several years older than you, so you might feel resonance and healing about what he wants to say. The second person is Shane Carew. This is Coach Shane. He's a coach of Stanford men's soccer team. He was Cal State Monterey Bay, the head coach, very accomplished. He's now also a coach in the Asian America Youth Soccer Academy. He can share with you, I think he will probably work with Max quite a bit and can share with you his experience as well. And the third person, a very accomplished Coach Simon Tobin. Coach Simon is a head coach of San Jose State University men's soccer team. He's the coach of the year, and he has the title of Master of Coaches. He actually coaches, so he has a lot of experience in developing soccer players, and he can share with you also a lot of his experience. And the fourth person I would like to introduce is our coach in Asia American Youth Soccer Academy as well. Her name is Yang Zhou. Coach Yang, of course, many Chinese people here, Yang was the captain of China national team, played in the first and the second Women World Cup. When I was in college, right, in high school and college, I was actually watch on TV. Coach Yang played the soccer team. I was so proud. I never imagined one day I would have a chance in the United States actually to work with her to help kids to the youth sport, and it's a particular honor for me to introduce her. The last person, but not least, is Haiping Jin. We call him HP. And HP, certainly I have been knowing him for a long time because he and I play in the same soccer team, Silicon Valley Tigers. I've been in this team since I came to United States 1998, while joining the team 99. When I was in Boston, I actually flew into a city to play with a Tiger team for the Northern American Chinese soccer tournament. HP is an example, really exciting, right? He's not only a really good soccer player, but he's such a successful entrepreneur. He founded a company called Telenav after getting his PhD from Stanford, I think in aerospace and with minor in electrical engineering, and founded this company, Telenav. And about a decade ago, his company went for IPO. We are just so happy to have a rich friend, right, in our soccer team. And he took care of our soccer teams, playing jersey, celebration dinner. And at the same time, he's such a great person. I can already see on the soccer field. There's a strong correlation right there. How successful you are with your spirit, your fighting spirit, right? Your sportsmanship on the field. Very strong correlation. And after certainly he was so successful in TeleNav, he also become an investor. I think one of his amazing investment is he invested on Zoom. When Zoom has no money yet, he was the angel investor right there. He make a huge return from the investment. And by the way, the Zoom founder, Eric Yuan, he's also in our team, Silicon Valley Tigers, also a soccer player. So on the field, you can tell the same thing, the same fighting spirit, sportsmanship, right there. This correlation is so strong. So with these 5 panelists, I hope they can share with you, either as parents or as the kids, right? Sitting in front of your screen, you learn something that can help you to build your body, build your mind, and also lead to the future successful career and happy life. With that, why don't I now turn this into our 5 panelists. Each one of you will spend about 5 minutes to share with you what they want to tell you. Let's start from Max. You will go first.
Hi everyone, how you doing? My name is Max, as you introduced me as. I am a redshirt freshman at Stanford for the soccer team. I play goalkeeper. I'm from San Francisco, and I'm not exactly sure what we're supposed to do for our introductions, but I grew up playing soccer from kindergarten. Usually it started as an outlet just for fun sport, and as I grew up it turned into more of a competitive way for me to express myself, I guess. But yeah, as I got into high school, I never played for an academy. I played for SF Elite in San Francisco, and eventually that turned into a sport that got me into Stanford, and that got me playing for Coach Shane here, who's going to be up next, I guess. I guess that's it.
Thank you, Max. Well, I think even soccer player need some time to warm up, right? So we'll get back to Max to share with you some of the fun questions I want to ask Max. Next, we'll have Coach Shane. Do you want to share your experience with everybody? I think
a little frozen.
Yeah, Coach Shane, you are frozen.
So he's going to join back.
Yeah, I think his internet connection has some problem. He will come back in a little bit. Maybe
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you're back. Okay.
Sorry, Professor.
Hi, Coach. It looks like your internet connection is not stable. Hey, why don't we do this, Coach Shane? We'll come back to you. Is your connection good now?
Now?
Oh, maybe not. Let's do this. We'll come back to you later. Let's move on to Coach Simon first. Coach Simon, do you want to share your experience with everybody?
Unmute first.
Yeah.
See, you can maybe unmute him. Can you?
I think his connection also has a little bit problem. Has to unmute. Well, let's see. Let's Yang, maybe we should coach Yang. Let's move on to you first. Your internet connection is good. Yeah, we'll wait until Simon and Shane come back.
All right. Okay, so I guess my is better than all others. I will start to share with my story. Okay, so first, thank you for joining our youth sports in the US talk. So my name is Yang. I actually played for Chinese women's national soccer team from 1989 to 1995. So I played the 2 World Cups and have been coaching almost 20 years. So today I just want to share with you about my soccer journey. So I started playing soccer when I was 14 years old. So I played for Dalian youth soccer team. I remember the first time we played against the boys team, who are like 2 years younger than us, and we lost 0-17. So they were teasing us that the girls shouldn't play soccer. However, so after a year of practice, 3 years a day, 6 days a week, so we will be able to tie them 1-1. And you all know the boys were individually skillful and quick. So we had to work hard, work together, use team strategy to pass the balls around and destroy their defensive line. On the other hand, and they also recover each other's mistakes and make sure they couldn't score easily. So based on my experience, I think, so kids will have a better understanding of teamwork as they play as a team and work toward a common goal. This skill will often carry over to the classroom and beyond. So I played for Dalian's young team, City's team, and then after 3 years later, so I was selected by national team to prepare for 1989 Asian Cup and the 1990 Asian Olympics and the 1991 World Cup. So 4 months actually before the World Cup, I got a serious knee injury during a game against the men's team. I had 2 choices, either do surgery or conservative therapy, so which was strengthen my leg muscle to support my knee. So playing World Cup was my dream. And knowing that I won't be able to play after surgery, so I decided to do conservative therapy. So without any break, I continue I can just continued everyday practice with the team. It was very hard, suffering 3 months that I had never experienced before. So, but I found through it and played almost every game in World Cup. Soccer can make you so strong and not give up easily. And then I actually later in 2000, I came to America for my education and played for college because I was playing at national level, so I felt I was responsible for leading the team. I keep pushing myself to be a good example, help other players, and work hard in each practice. So in my last year at the college, the team went 4th place in the nation, which is really good. So, and talking about my coaching career, so it took me years to change my coaching style to adapt to US culture, understand how to balance technical improvement and enjoyment for players in different ages. The team I worked with that helped me find my coaching style was Palo Alto U12 girls team. That's how I started with. I coached them for like 3.5 years. I encouraged them, like instead of saying, don't do this, it's very bad, it's kind of hurt their emotion. I would say, try this. It would be better if you can do this. I also try different drills to work on same skill so that they could feel, not really bored for competing every day, with the same stuff. So this worked well, and after a season, we won the division. The girls saw their improvements and therefore were more excited to move on to next level. So during the 3 years, we started at silver, move up one level a year, gold, premier, and all the way to the national premier. So for the coaching, I have so many it's different things, like example, want to share with you. So like last year, I coached the Hillsdale High School varsity girls soccer team. I found that their main problem actually is lack of team strategies. So some players have really strong individual skills, but they just don't know how to play together. I just focus on tactical skills, strategies, and that they applied them well in games and win their divisions last year. And then we got to move back to the Bay Division, which is a higher division for us. So it's everyone very excited about this. So so there's another one thing I want to share with you about. So all the players has different personality. I have helped many players with a one-on-one training too. And there's one girl that I started coaching when she was 12. I worked on her individual skills once a week. It was very intense training with short water break. She is kind of the players really know what she wants to do. She worked really hard and brought her question before the training. So I worked with her for almost like 5 years. And she got offer from more than 10 universities to play soccer with their school. And also her school actually is very good. I think she got all straight A's. And then she got offer from more than, like I said, more than 10 universities, but there's the best school you all know she got from Brown University. So finally she was also represented United States to play 2015 World University Games. So through all this experience, I found it out that I need to apply different coaching styles for different teams, different players. And I want to use this to have our community engage more kids into sports. They will learn leadership, teamwork, persistence, and the time management. Sports can also enrich kids' social life and change their personality. That's why I found Asian American Youth Soccer Academy in San Francisco Bay Area. I think I have the responsibility and the ambition to promote the sports for our community. It was my great pleasure and motivation to coach them, to play with them. And our little players come to practice every day right now, actually on Zoom, so play soccer with their peers, get to know each other. They show more and more interest and passion into soccer. They are having fun, but at the same time also improving their soccer skills, teamwork, and leadership and social skills. I'm very proud of them right now. Actually, every time I think of them, I just smile. So that's basically my experience in sports that I want to share with you all today. So this is just I feel soccer bringing to me too much. I'm so lucky.
That's great, Coach Yang. I'm sure we'll come back to you again with all this very interesting experience to have a dialogue with you a little bit later. Well, our Coach Shane is back. Coach Shane, do you want to share your experience?
Okay, can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, firstly, thank you very much for having me on this panel, and it's a pleasure also to work with the Asian American Youth Soccer Soccer Academy here in the Bay Area. My story: I am originally from Ireland, and I came to America in the year 2000 on a soccer scholarship, and I ended up in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I had never been to America, and the sport of soccer was the vehicle that enabled me to come to the United States of America. And I got the incredible opportunity to play college soccer, which for any aspiring youth soccer player can be very achievable, and it's an incredible pathway where you balance your academics and you balance the sport you love whilst you are in college. So first and foremost, for anybody that is listening that has children that are budding soccer players, or I see we've got some soccer players that are also on this call. Playing college soccer is an amazing opportunity, and one that's very, very rare across the entire world. That's only really available in this country. So I ended up coming to play college, and then I got into coaching at a very young age, and I ended up becoming a director of a club in North Carolina, where I oversaw 65 teams. And after about 5 years, I then wanted to get into college coaching. And why did I go from youth to college? I wanted to just have experience at a different level, but I also wanted to work with young adults in college that I think are at a really formative age in their lives, and just be a role model around that age. So I was an assistant college at Elon University. I was an assistant at San Jose State, where we've got Simon, the head coach. I became the head coach at Cal State Monterey Bay, just down the road here from Stanford. And then last July, I got asked to come on staff and work at Stanford, which is, leading the way in college soccer, has won 3 of the last 5 national championships, and arguably has the most successful college coach in the country. So my role as an assistant at the college level is really being, being a kind of a role model to college players. Whilst I'm coaching at college, I also do a lot of club work, which is, why I work with the AYSA right now, is because I like to go and still give back to the younger ages. So I do a lot of club work. In college, my role, I really feel that you've got 4 different types of leaders and 4 different types of coaches. I think you've got authoritative coaches. I think you've got logical coaches. I think you've got coaches that are very inspirational. And I think you've got coaches that are big on group dynamic. But I think most leaders, most coaches can only be strong in 2 of those areas. And I think that's my role as an assistant coach, to fill in where the gap is. So, for example, if a head coach is very authoritative and is very big on group dynamic, I would try and come in and fill a role of being a logical leader for the coach that then helps out the players.
Great. Yeah. Thanks, Coach Shane. Is Coach Simon connected back already? If not, I think let's move on to HP, Jin. HP, I think your experience will be very interesting, to the audience. Please.
Unmute.
Yeah.
All right. Hello, everybody. Good evening. So it's my pleasure to be here to share some, some experience and maybe some wisdom with everybody, especially young kids who are, into soccer game. So soccer, I believe, is the most exciting game to me. So I really admire and respect professional soccer players here and coaches, professional coaches here. And, taking to your level is not easy, is unusual. It takes a lot of, effort, discipline, and the passion to get to where you are. So I really admire and respect you. So I'm very pleased to be sharing the panel with you. Come to my own experience. I started playing soccer when I was little, but not the really serious soccer play. My brothers, actually my older brother, they're more serious soccer player at that time. Even in their school, we went to different school. So their school are very into soccer game. So they played really well, but my school was not into soccer game, right? So sports general, not as good. Then I sometimes practice with them. So, but it's a very, got the good sense of soccer, but not really play the real game. I started playing real game when I went to college. So when to college, I play almost every day, right? Soccer game, you go to the field to play and just pick up games. Then gradually play, this across department playing. And then I played decent, I improved my skills really at the college. Then I went to, when I got to graduate school, I was good enough to be on the college team. So I played college team for about a year and a half while I was in graduate school. So that was a lot more fun, I think. In a way, pickup game is really good, but I think really the competitive game just drive you to next level in terms of training, in terms of gaming, all the dynamics, interacting with the coach is very, amazing experience, right? You learn so much from a coach in terms of the way they handle difficult situation, they handle the replacing of the team members, all those things are applicable for all your future leadership development. I think that I just learned so much from coaches in observing and playing. So I hope all of you guys, when you play, really not just learning how to play soccer, learn how they think about many aspects of the team to make the team to next level. So that's a kind of I had so much fun, right? I think that's a number one spot for me throughout the college. Then when I came to US, I studied at the Stanford University on aeronautics and astronautics. In the, people may call it rocket scientist, but soccer was my main thing. And then I played Tiger team, with other universities, all that. But I had so much fun. And I think a very important thing is I met so many wonderful people. And Cui is one of them, right? Cui is one of the soccer. If without soccer, I wouldn't know him, right? So I wouldn't be on this panel, I would know him. He started a company, actually 4C Air, and I invested into the company too. So soccer field allowed me to meet so many wonderful people, enrich my life, my experience, and just make the whole life much more enjoyable. Let's say it's much more enjoyable because of soccer. And then, of course, I also met Eric Nguyen. When Eric Nguyen raised money, he came to me first and said, hey, I want to start a company. And then I say, okay, I will invest. Then he was trying to show me a business plan. And I said, no need to look at the business plan. I will invest whatever you do. Because the way I look at it, one of the key things I examine a company is through the leadership, and then the person, the way he played on the soccer field proved him to be a good one, right? So that's a number one criteria. If you're not playing well on the soccer field, I will not invest. Whatever you do, you can build a supercomputer. I don't care. You have to be a good soccer player. That's more important than anything else, right? So anyway, so that was Eric Wen's story, and then he happened to be very lucky. Okay, the result was amazing return, and so that's one of them. I also have met other friend, which is also from Berkeley, during our competition, and we are doing a lot of joint investment now. I do business together. Just again, the soccer field, the network of friends I made, number one, enrich my life. Okay, make my life much more enjoyable to live. Number two is to really helping my other part of the work, which is related to the investment, right? And several of soccer players actually are working at Telenab. Some of the co-founders actually also from soccer field, right? Soccer field, okay, that's the start company, then we work together to just do it. So again, soccer is a main theme of my life. So I hope you guys develop something, and I hope soccer is the one for you. Thank you.
Thank you, HP. This is a very exciting sharing of experience. I'll get back to a few comments you just made later. I'll let Simon to spend 5 minutes sharing with everybody.
Hello, welcome to everybody. Thank you. First off, I'd like to say, Yang, you're being very, very modest. When I was a coach and I was coaching men's and women's college many years ago, we played College of Notre Dame, where Yang was playing. And it's amazing because I remember after coaching 34 years, I would feel that Yang is one of the best players that I ever saw on the soccer field coaching against, male or female. She destroyed us that day, and I'm sure she did it to many other teams. So it's weird because I've never spoken to her since. I didn't know about her, and then I joined on the panel and remembered all those years ago and what a great player she was. I would like to echo some of the sentiments that have just gone. The reason all of you are there as parents or as players, young players, or as Max, as a college player, because you love this game. It's enjoyable. It's really interesting that you've got soccer coaches, all you parents doing different businesses. We have some major businessmen here, but I want to echo what they're saying. Soccer is the global language now. So it might not be English, it might not be Chinese, it might not be French. It's soccer. Wherever you go in the world, that is our common language. And you make your friends. You can sit in a taxi in Brazil. You can be in a restaurant. You can be in any kind of global business. And you'll always find someone that you will be able to talk to soccer about. So if I'm in South America, if I'm in Africa, if I'm in Europe, if I'm in Asia, and hopefully now even in North America, soccer becomes the biggest thing that and the most common theme that we can all talk about. And for you young players that are going to come out there, whether you make it to the very, very top, or whether it becomes just a pastime or a love or a passion, wherever you go in the world, because you've played soccer, it's going to help you. It's going to help you, I think, as you said, you're going to make friends, and those bonds that you make on the soccer field and talking about soccer are more important than anything. I'm really, really interested in the project and the group that we have today, because when I was at Cal State Bakersfield, my best player was a guy by the name of Lyle Martin. He was All-American. He went to Chivas USA, and amazing, he came in my office and he said, my agent wants to send me to China, to the Super League. So I said, oh, okay. I said, but I don't think there's ever been an American play in the Chinese Super League, the top league. He said, I want to be the first. So if you look him up on Wikipedia, Lyle Martin, he went there. I think he played out there in China for 2 years, and he absolutely loved it. He came back with such great experiences. And this was a kid that probably got homesick when he was going 10 miles outside of Bakersfield. But it just shows you what soccer can do for you. He went over to a totally different culture, a totally different league, and he absolutely loved it. And my interest in kind of Asian soccer started then. And I will put it to the Chinese members of the panel before I go. I think the Chinese women have done a brilliant job as one of the top in the world. And I guess my question to the other people is, when are the Chinese men going to win the world?
Coach Simon, I think we lose you again. Oh, continue. We are back, please. Yeah, we are back.
Okay.
So,
yeah, okay. We heard Coach Simon to share with us as well. I want to ask our panelists first question, but before I ask, right? I should ask your question first. You have some time to think, but at the same time, I will share with you some of my observation. My first question to everybody, playing sport, in this case is soccer, and how that helps you to deal with very challenging situation in your career or in your life. Just think about that, something you can share. Maybe a minute will be fine, a minute or two, right? So by the way, for all the audience, these questions, our panelists, they don't know what I'm going to ask. I just based on their experience and come up with a question I think could be important to share with everybody. So you guys think about it, the panelists. Now let me make a few comments right here to share with you my experience. I'll share the first one. After playing soccer now more than 30-something years, like 33 years, 34 years, and meeting with so many players, and later they do different things, going to different fields. The first observation is absolutely true. A good soccer player, number one thing is here is always very smart. No exception. A good players all have really good IQ right here, and really think about things clearly and can respond also quickly. And also by playing soccer, this can train your brain so well. That's my whole career's experience. Even I'm in academia, right, teaching at Stanford, doing research, but there's a lot of linkage right there. I see soccer is training your brain. Number one, I want to share with you. And some people think, oh, you do physical sports, that's only physical. No, all the good, sport player, this needs to be really high first. And then by playing, these also get higher. So now with the first comment, I want to come back to ask our panelists about this first question: how sport help you to overcome the challenge in your life? Maybe I can start from HP. HP, do you want to share first, and then I will go to Max next? Okay.
Yeah, so I guess the way you think about challenges in your life, there are challenges all the time, right? It depends on how you see them as a challenge. Just like soccer play, when you play the game, you see strong opponent, you see weak opponent, you see stronger play on the other side, and how do you deal with that, right? I think the attitude you develop through playing games can be applicable in your career as well. Because in the game, right, the things can change. When you play a game, I'm sure if you play enough, sometimes you lose, sometimes you win. There's no exception. Nobody wins all the time. So, and when you lose, that's a challenge to overcome that, right? In the beginning, you may feel sad, right? And then you get demotivated, but you have to play again tomorrow. And then you win, you get excited. So the challenge in life is like playing soccer game. Same thing. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes you get sad, sometimes I get the critical comments from a coach. And that's exactly the same thing will happen in your life. And the way to deal with that, go back to the game and learn, just improve on it. What you learn from the mistakes or the loss, and then you say, what should I do next? You always look at the next game as the most important thing, not the past game. Past game is for learning. The future game is to be decided by you, your effort and team effort. I think the thing about the challenges you mentioned is it's I treat all challenging life similar to sports. No big deal. In a way, another way you need to think about challenging life is not the big deal. Don't take that too seriously. It's a game, okay? It's a game. Don't take everything too seriously and get stressed out. It's just a game. That's apply soccer game with real life. It's always, in my mind, it's a game. You want to play, you want to win, you want to have fun, and losing is okay, right? That's a mindset is very important. Again, so if you think about Tree, how did I overcome? I think I learned the philosophy of life in a way from soccer and apply it everywhere. That's
yes. This
okay.
is a really beautiful HP. I think this is from your also career as well. You know, building a company from scratch to IPO, and then you are going to face huge number of challenges along the way. If you don't have a really through all of this, there's no way. Yeah, I can see that how soccer correlate back to, your attitude towards life, always positive, overcome the challenges fast. Now let me come to Max. Coming to Stanford as a freshman, right now moving into sophomore. I believe you have been through high school. You want to go to a great college. I mean, there's some pressure built up right there, and now at Stanford, you are facing new challenges as well. So, shall we ask what's your experience?
Something that, or to echo what HP said first about about having the ability to bounce back from failures and stuff. We have a saying at Stanford called the next play mentality, which is where if you make a mistake, you put your head down, you get to work on the next play. And I think that's a very important lesson to have in life. But something I wanted to talk about was surrounding yourself with people who you can rely on and having a team. Because soccer is an extremely team-oriented sport. You can't do everything by yourself. I mean, Messi can sometimes, but other than that, it's very important to have a group of guys that you can rely on. At Stanford, we have an amazing team and an amazing staff, and they're some of the most important people in my life now. I've gotten to call them a family for the past year, and they hold me accountable. They push me to become better every day, and I think that's just something that's super important when you're playing.
That's great. Thanks, Max. Coach Shane, do you want to share?
Unmute.
Mute. Okay. Well, just before we begin, just a little story about Max. Max joined the team. Max maybe halfway through preseason last year. So you were behind in terms of fitness, right? So Max struggled with the fitness test, but that's not Max's fault because he'd come in and joined the team late. And I remember Max, we talked about doing some extra work and different things, and we talked about it's not what you do when somebody's looking, it's what you do when nobody's looking. And just after training, you would all see Max doing extra running on his own. And I think that was the way that Max overcame some adversity in terms of catching up to fitness, right? So that tells you a lot about Max's character. But just to answer the question, Professor Yi, I think in the game of soccer, as HP said, there's always going to be failure, and the beauty of the game is there's always another game. And I think no matter what you have going on in life, you can use soccer as a vehicle just to overcome those feelings, whether it's loss or whatever you've got going on in your mind or in your family, or it's taking a break from homework, or maybe you haven't gotten a result in school that you wanted to get or whatnot. But you can use soccer as a way it's an obstacle to overcome and go to a place in your mind that's a happy place, because as HP said, we start soccer because it's fun, and it is a game of fun, and we always have to remember that. So for me personally, I've had injuries, I've had rejection. I've had many obstacles to overcome, but I've always had that mentality, as Max said, there's a next play mentality. There's always another game. There's always another friend to meet. And I think, as Simon said, sport and soccer is a vehicle that can allow you to go to those places.
Well, thank you, Coach Shane. Absolutely true. You know, this is all great common, right? They're reinforcing, I think, many feeling we all share together. Coach Simon, do you want to share your experience on this question? Maybe I need to unmute you.
Yes, only just one thing. I would like to go exactly with what HP said. If I was a businessman or any kind of person that was going to hire future people for my company, after 34 years of being a soccer coach, I can tell the people that are going to be successful in life, people that get on with everybody else on the soccer field as a teammate, people that, like Shane said, that will fight back from adversity, people that will do the work when it's not always visible, but want to work really hard, people that really enjoy what they're doing, and most of all, people that are a joy to work with and want to help other people. I think soccer, again, HP said, is a microcosm of just everything else that goes on in life. And I think if you've been on the soccer field enough, you can see enough about a coach's personality or a player's personality to know who will be successful and who you would like to surround yourself with in later life. So I think soccer is a great vehicle for that, just to for anybody to see the great qualities that somebody has. Thank you.
That's great, Coach Simon. Before I move on to Coach Yang, let me tell all the audience right here, you guys feel free to type in any question you want to ask. If you look at the bottom, there's a chat button right here, right there, right? You click on chat, and then you send your question. So I can, well, somebody already tried to say ha, right? So ask the questions you want to ask. This is a really rare opportunity. Whether you are parents or you are kids, you should feel free to ask questions to any of the panelists, also to me as well. So with that, let me move on to and let the Coach Yang to answer the questions I just asked.
So actually, I played professional soccer, from beginning until soccer in my life is over 35 years. And because of soccer, I met so many wonderful persons, and also through soccer, I learned a lot because I had a surgery like 3 times, my knee surgery. So I learned to never give up. I learned to work my best and just, do your best, and whatever, when you fail, it's okay because you tried. So that's what I really want to tell the boys or my peers is, whatever, no matter you do, so having fun and try your best. It's not really has to be fully successful. You learn from your failure, right? For me, I came here without any English. I don't know about English. So because of soccer, I learned I have to try my best. I never give up. And I met so many of my teammates when I was at Notre Dame, and they all came and helped me with all the schoolwork, on the field, off the field, soccer field, and in the library, and so they help me with the school, and basically, and that's because I play soccer, so I think soccer really bringing so many things to me. So that's the time for me. I just want to give it back to my community, and I want more and more people start to get more benefit from soccer. And soccer is such a great sport. That's basically what I think.
Well, thank you, Coach Yang. Now the questions are starting to come in, right? Before I ask the question, let me also make my comment number 2. With all the audience sharing with everybody. HP touched upon what soccer is full of surprise. You can win today, you can lose tomorrow. One thing I learned, I want to share with everybody. When you think your team is strong, you go into the field, you say, what, the opponent will not be able to win us. Oftentimes, you can be wrong. And soccer is teaching me, don't be arrogant. Really don't be arrogant. You can get excited, cheer up, but don't be arrogant. And also, when you look at the other team, sometimes the opponent is so strong. You say, there's no way we can beat them. But we did. So don't give up. If your team is, lagging behind like 0-2, I mean, we have experience and Tigers, we were lagging behind, but we catch up, we beat the other team, right? Don't give up. I think these lessons, it's good for everybody, for kids to grow up. Even for adults, right? Don't be arrogant, don't give up. This is second thing I want to share. Now let me come to our, the questions are flowing in. Now, so first question, simple to answer. Maybe we only need 1 or 2 people to answer. Number 1, I think this is probably for parents. How to protect yourself from getting injured? Who wants to take this question? Maybe from the coach? Looks like Coach Shane wants to answer this question, so I unmute you.
Professor Yi, could you repeat the question? Sorry.
How to protect yourself from getting injured?
Okay, good question. And I think for young children, we don't really see a lot of injuries, but as children go into adults, the best way probably is just to learn how to take care of your body. So it starts with what you eat, it starts with what you drink. So for parents, what you put into the body is kind of what you get out of the body. So I think we try and avoid food with lots of sugar and different things. Hydration is very, very important. As we get older, then a good warm-up is very, very important. We warm up now called dynamic warm-ups, which means that we warm the muscles up slowly and gradually, versus years ago it used to be static stretching. In fact, Simon could probably talk more on that. Simon has an education and a background on that side of things. But injury is part of the game. A lot of it though is how you prepare your body. I think if you are fit, you won't get muscle injury. I think if you're smart, as you said, Professor Yi and HB, if you're smart, you see things coming, you can use your brain to just get out of situations. If you see an opponent that plays very rough and aggressive, then you probably need to pass the ball quicker before that player comes to you. But a lot of it is more just injury prevention, taking care of your body, stretching, cooling down, hydration, and then make sure that you're getting lots of carbohydrates, protein, fruits and vegetables to prepare your body to play the game.
Very good. Let me add a little bit, right? Coach Shane is sharing with everybody, particularly in the level Coach Shane and Simon and Coach Yang are playing. And I mean, all those things are just wonderful. And for kids, I agree, not very little injury right there. I start to get injured, it's actually not because on the field, it's because of lack of warming up. I get injured that way. I find out more than the real playing, but I'm not in the professional level. Just to add a little bit on that. So next question, right? This is going to be a really fun question. this person asked Bin Long Chen, I think this is a great question. Our panelists talk about the relationship between personality, success in soccer, and turn success in career. I believe in that too, right? From from Mr. Chen or maybe Miss Chen. But his question is, or her question is, what is the cause? What is really the result? 原因是什么？结果是什么？ What's the reason? What's the result, right? It's because, you know, competitive personality leads to good player, and or playing soccer helps build personality, right? What's really the reason? It's because your personality, you go play soccer and then you become successful, or soccer build your personality towards that success. I think it's a great question. Why don't you guys think about that a little bit? Because I look at this question for about a couple of minutes now. I have my version of answer right there. And then if a few of you want to share, please. So I look at myself when I was a little kid. I was quiet. I wasn't aggressive. I wasn't particularly having any leadership at all. But after I start to play soccer trained me to become, you know, you need to have certain level of excitement right there. You really, you know, need to go in and to build up that fighting spirit right there. I think that really helped building my personality. That's probably part of the reason playing soccer lead to my personality. Later, I could become successful and become academia, doing research in technology invention, become a professor and teaching in the classroom. Yeah, I would say soccer is really built my personality in a very complex way, right? I'm talking about fighting spirit, that's one. It's also making friends, friendship, interacting with people, all the skill set all through soccer. I think I'm more in the benefit of through soccer building my personality. Any of our panelists right here want to jump in a little bit to answer this question? Okay, Coach Simon.
I think it's a very, very, very interesting question, quite philosophical. But I think maybe I'm answering this because I've done it for so long, for 34 years. But it's hard. I've seen many, many, many different personalities. I do think because soccer is a game that ultimately, at our level, you have to win. There has to be some level of competitiveness. But just like you said, that can be brought out from playing soccer. I've seen very, very, even at the college level, players that are quite subdued, quite quiet individually, but soccer has been able to bring them out of their shell a little bit. They've become more competitive. Their self-esteem has started to grow. I think in answer to your question, it is a very, very difficult one. I do think there has to be some inherent competitiveness and a desire to play with teammates, because it is a team sport, not an individual sport. So it's a slightly different type of personality. But I would like to say, after having 34 years and players of all levels become quite successful, many of them have some very, very different personalities. I would say the one thing for a young kid that wanted to get to the college level, or a college player that wanted to get to a pro level, I found that it's not always the best player. It's probably the player that has wanted that success to get to that next level. So that desire might be to be your high school team. It might be a club team. After that, it might be a college team or a pro team. But the ones that tend to get there are the ones that have that desire and are not content with staying where they are. But that's an interesting question, and I'm going to think about it a little bit more. But thank you.
Thank you, Coach Simon. Next question.
So, Cui, can I comment?
Please, HP. Yeah, please.
Yeah, I think the way I think about this is the personality we all whatever stage of your life, you may say we all have a slight, some level of different personality. I mean, that's okay. And then I think what soccer can play to you is strengthening them into the level, allow you to perform better, right? So I'm just using one example. If in order to be successful in your career, I think one of very important things you call it coachable. And people say, are you coachable, right? And some people are just not coachable. But, we're not, everyone is born to be coachable. It's like a muscle, you need to be trained. When you play soccer, you'll be coached. You'll be coached by your coach, you're criticized by your teammates, all that, but you need to learn how to deal with that. In the beginning, you don't like it, right? When people say you're not good, you don't like it, but you have to deal with it. And a few times, then you'll learn how to really benefit from it. Then you become a real coachable. So this is a one trait you will develop and strengthening through playing soccer game. Right? So the personality, I mean, who is coachable, not coachable? It's hard to draw that conclusion. I think everyone may be to be coachable, but someone is less so. A lot of those kind of a non-coachable thing is because it was never coached, maybe, right? Or the coach in the right way. But soccer the time you play with interaction with other good teammates, bad teammates, you just deal with it and you learn. I sometimes call it like a thick skin. You need to have a thick skin to deal with, the feedbacks, sometimes, harsh, sometimes friendly, all that stuff. I think make your personality just to be strong. I think that's one field it's really lead to your success. Just give you, in terms of coachable example, the head of a product of Google, when he was interviewed for that job, he did very well all across, until he met the last person, was the one actually is a CEO, former CEO of Intuit, Chamber, I think his first name. And the first question he asked the candidates, are you coachable? You know what's the response? The person responded, he was pretty confident. He said, oh, this is like the last rubber stamp, and I will get the job. And when the first question is, are you coachable? And the answer is, it depends. You know what's the result? The person, you can leave now. Interview is over. If you say your answer to coachable is depends, means you're not qualified for the job. You can leave, right? So the guy was shocked in a way. How can you, it's just one question, you just disqualified. Yeah, if you're not coachable, it depends, you get out of here. We don't need anyone not coachable. And you have condition for it to be coachable, you're out of it. Right? Anyway, so the word of coachable, and you deal with your coach every day when you play soccer, right? So you have to be coachable to be in the game. And in your life, same way, you have to be coachable, willing to learn, to improve. And again, that's a cause, and then the result. I think it is not, it's a circular. It's not the one thing. It's a continue to circulate, continue to rotate, and then make you go stronger and stronger in your life. So that's my comments.
That's amazing, HP. Since I play the same team with you, I really, really understand what you mean right there. I'll go to Coach Shane in 1 second. But HP, one thing I think is relevant, I want to share with everybody here. Our very two successful entrepreneur and Tiger team, HP, you and Eric. I have one observation. These two people never go blame his teammate on the field. I never saw you do that. I never saw Eric do that. And there's a very strong correlation. And this type of people knowing how to build a team, unite people together, and build successful business. That's my side comment. I never told you HP, but this is you probably understand what I mean. In our team, right? We need to have thick skin because somebody else might blame you. Okay, Coach Shane.
Yeah, just again, I think it's a really fascinating question, but I think it's one of the joys of coaching is no matter what age, is you've got so many personalities on a team, and it's the funnest part of the job is working with the different personalities, I just remember Simon and I used to work with the San Jose Earthquakes. We used to run the U9 program. I'll never forget, there was one player, brilliant little soccer player, and I was trying to give him some coaching points, and he was just looking up at the sky, and I was like, he's not listening to me. This kid's not paying attention. But I asked him, I said, what are you looking at? And he just said, I'm looking at the stars. And I just had to sit back and laugh because, there was no way I was going to give him some soccer knowledge, but he was just in a different world. And it was just fun being at that age. And then, now I'm working at somebody like, Max here on the call. Max is an ultra serious competitor. And I love working with Max because I try and get him to smile every day because he's a pretty serious guy. There you go, Max. Just the other day, I saw him on a skateboard. I was like, Max, I never knew you used a skateboard. So it's cool to learn about the different personalities within your team, and I bet that's the same in the business world.
Okay, that's good. Next question. How to control emotion in the field during playing the game, particularly to deal with flagrant players? How do you control emotion? I think every soccer player knows. Maybe not the goalie, right, Max? Goalie less on that, but on the field, my God, I mean, emotion comes all the time. How to control emotion? Maybe Coach Simon or Coach Yang, you want to take this question? I will unmute Coach Simon first.
How to control emotion? It's a difficult game, and it's a very, very, very often repeated quote, but I'll give it again because it kind of sums up the state of soccer. So the very great Liverpool coach from a long, long time ago said, "Soccer is not a game of life and death. It's much more important than that." So that kind of gives you some kind of idea. Once you get on the field, it's when you're playing that the passion and the emotion. But I think again, everything we spoke about lends itself to the business world and just world in general. It's for you to have to win, you have to be passionate. Sometimes it's very, very emotional. But whatever you do, the most successful have an ability for the most part to check that emotion. You have to play with desire. You have to want to win. And I would say sometimes, even with some of the top players in the world, you can see it bubble over to a little bit more than just straight desire. But I would say for the most part, we have to have an ability to play very hard, a desire to win. But I do see one thing that I do love about the men's soccer game. Even when you go to the World Cup, ultimately after the game, you see nearly every player shake hands. Very, very often on a soccer field, a player goes down and an opponent will try and help them up. I think that kind of camaraderie within that ultimate emotion and competition is something that is very, very special to soccer. And it's something I love between soccer players on the field. But I think it's the same as anything. We have to have an ability to temper, to control our emotions, but still be very, 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 very competitive. But it makes the game a brilliant game to see that emotion and desire come out. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach Simon. Coach Yang, can you unmute?
Okay. Emotional, I would say it's not that easy to control your emotional during the game, especially when you play the higher level. Like I know when sometimes we played against say for example the US when back to 90s, so that type of things is difficult to control even though the coaches was there, and it's just at that moment, what do you do? I remember my sister and I play for the national team, and if she got kicked, I will follow the person kick it from her head. Just to try. It's not really just to try to kick it somebody or so just it's the emotion at that higher level at that point at the time. It's really difficult. That's some trigger there. So I would say there's only one thing. When you really have one time grab the ball from the players, that can make you calm down. You feel successful, and then I feel myself, okay, I can calm down a little bit. So that's for myself, so it's the environment, so you deal with is very important for you to control the emotional, like, it's very difficult, I would say. I remember, some other team chasing some other players on the field. Just it's not on purpose to kicking other players, but this is just emotional. It's very difficult to control. And the coaches, the only way can do it is calm down the players and make some the players talking each other. Some other team maybe start to step in and talk, and the refs start to stop for the players themselves at that point. Is very, very difficult. I'm not that higher, so emotional player, but I know myself, I did it before. I know, especially you're young, it's very, very difficult to control yourself. I said the truth.
Completely agree. That's a training process, even to now. Well, my experience very short, right? And when I play in college, university team, and back in China, I get into a fight with people on the field. Very hard to control. You just get so angry. You cannot control yourself. And even after I become Stanford professor, I actually fight on the field also. But every single time I regret it. It's that regretness helped me to control better and better. I have one rule right there. I don't play with a Stanford students because I'm worried about I'm getting into a fight with my own students. That won't be good. So just to let you know, this is a challenging issue, but I'm getting better. I haven't did any fight for quite a number of years now, maybe close to 10.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
I think, it's only getting emotional because the level very competitive. I think when you have you are already outstanding, I don't think anything will cost you to have this emotion. So.
That's good.
So maybe the coach Shen, you have something to say first? Okay, so I want to comment on this one again, different perspective. I'm not the professional coach, and I also I guess given the question coming from the audience, they want to see some ways helping them to control the emotion. I think that's so. What kind of a tip I can give you to control emotion? This is the same thing, the same philosophy I mentioned. Game is just a game. Okay, I know Coach Simon said this is beyond the game, it's life and death. But I like to give another perspective on it. I think passionate, emotion, and mad are different things. I think you should be passionate about the game, but you shouldn't be mad at the game, right? I think that the emotion to be anger, you try to avoid. The reason why is don't take that to that level of seriousness to make you anger at the game, at your player teammates. Say, for example, your teammates made a mistake, you get mad at that person. That's not right, right? You shouldn't be, because everyone will make mistakes. And then we need to learn from it versus you're mad at them, you push them. That's not good, right? That's, I think, Dr. Sui mentioned about, I don't kind of blame people on the field. I don't blame, because blame doesn't really help. If blame helps, you blame all day long, right? So how do you give constructive, while it's a emotional, passionate, but how do you control your temper logically? I know it's logic is hard, but you still need to think about logically. It doesn't help you, okay? So math doesn't help you. Actually can make you perform less to the level you can achieve. So in the martial arts, you watch Bruce Lee's movies, right? And the one trick, you beat other guys and make the other guy mad. You irritate other guy, make him mad, then he loses his rhythm, loses pattern, and that's where they will have a weakness. So you beat them. So being mad make you weak. So the idea is knowing the logic. Of course, sometimes you cannot control it, but you reflect on it, right? I would say, did it really help the game? Typically, actually, it hurt the game. You demoralize the team, or you are mad at the referee, and referee give you a red card, right? And you thought, okay, I'm emotional, I'm in the game, but then you get kicked out of the game. So what do you do? Right? This happened to like superstars, right? They were so mad they got kicked out of the game. I mean, there's a French team, what was his name? That he usually had to bounce the other guy during one of the World Cup. So because of that behavior, of course, the word, whatever he heard, is really super irritating. But his one behavior lost their championship. Then you'll see whether it's worth it. For him, he said it's still worth it, but maybe there's some other thing. But that is for us, for if you guys, as a young generation, we all used to be like that. I mean, it's hard to be so mature. Like I'm 55 years old, so I'm much more mature now. When I was young, maybe not, but I wish still someone gave me those kind of coach, even though it may not be helpful, but I still give you, okay, try to control your madness. Don't be too critical on other people, critical on yourself, then make you less mad because you're less disappointed. If you're too critical to others, then everyone just always blame others. You get mad all the time, then make you perform less to the degree you want. Anyway, those are some additional comments.
Those are the great points. I want to respect everybody's time. Now is 7:25 California time. I know there's still a number of questions, great questions the audience asks, but I don't think we can go through these questions. Instead, maybe let's just take one question. I figure this question all the parents probably care about, right? Let's to be short to answer this question. So this question is a long question of playing soccer versus going into a great college. Parents want their kids to go to Stanford, maybe Harvard, right? All these great schools. And they start to see kind of conflict coming up. Going to grade school like the top schools, Ivy Leagues, playing soccer, is there a conflict right there? How to deal with that? Rely on soccer to get into great college. Well, Max is a great example. I'm assuming Max GPA must be also high as well. Otherwise, cannot come into Stanford. So how to deal with this situation? Academia and get into great college, doing sports. Whether they should do other sports, do other extra curriculum instead of soccer. Any person has insight on this issue?
Could I actually say something?
Yeah, Max, please.
So actually my path to college wasn't so straightforward. I actually wasn't recruited to play at Stanford. I got a couple offers from different schools, but I got into Stanford on academics, and I actually chose to come to Stanford without soccer. And then I ended up, Coach Gunn ended up calling me during preseason before school started. So for me, it was actually a decision between going to Stanford without soccer and to a different college with soccer, and I decided to choose academics because, well, for me, I've always valued academics. It's been super high on my list, and
That's great. I know our time is running short. And last, I want each panelist just to say one sentence to the audience. What message do you want to pass to the audience? Just one sentence, right? Maybe like 30 seconds. I give you 30 seconds to think about this. I will, answer this question a little bit. So going to top school, going to grade school, and sports like soccer, right? It's actually never in conflict. You just need to manage your time right. I think right here, other people I don't know, but HP and me, we went to college in China, and HP went to a grade school. I went to also a grade school. You need to be really academically excellent to get into that school. For a long time, I was thinking in high school, I thought I played quite well. If I can get a chance to go to an amazing college with an amazing soccer team, that's my dream. But it turned out to be, academia, maybe like Max, it's actually quite good. Then I went to different school and sacrificing my soccer dream. I still play in the university team. That was my story. I think I never, playing soccer for the purpose of going to a great college, but that could be one reason. I think why not if you are really good at it. If you don't get to that level, don't worry about it. You have strong body, good mind, good personality, you benefit for your whole life. HP, I don't know whether anything you want to add in. If not, I will probably come to the conclusion. I want to respect everybody's time to share what the one last sentence, right, to everybody. Coach Simon, do you want to go first?
Yes.
And then I will move on to Coach Shane.
It kind of answers your question, but nothing replaces academics. But the thing I love about the US college system is you can play the highest level college athletics and get a wonderful academic degree. It's one of the few places in the world where you can play almost professional level and study and never lose a great academic career as well.
Thank you, Coach Simon. Coach Shane?
Yeah, I just think because we've got many parents on the call as well, is that soccer is a game of fun, and never forget that. And if you begin playing at a young age, if you can continue playing all the way through until your knees give up, then that's why you enter the sport. So just always remember it's a game of fun, and that comes with the passion, that comes with the failure, comes with the highs, comes with the lows. But if you can keep playing for as long as you can, then isn't that an unbelievable career, no matter what level?
Thank you. Max?
Yeah, for me, I just want to say it doesn't have to be soccer, but find something that you're passionate about and love to do. Because when it comes down to it, that's going to be something you want to stick with. That's a really important quality of whatever you're going to end up doing.
Thank you. Coach Yang?
So for me, I think I wish more kids come out, play whatever, no matter what kind of a sport. That will change your kids' life, can help them a lot just by doing the sport. So they will benefit for their whole life.
Thank you. HP?
Soccer is fun. And also when you, just for the kids here, don't, play soccer or another game, but stick with it a little longer so you can be above average. In a way, build up your confidence as well on the soccer field and also in your life.
Thank you, HP. Well, let me end this panel discussion by thanking all our panelists and also thanking all the parents, kids, spending your actual dinner time with us. This is completely fun. At the end, let me also thank the support from our community. There are several alumni associations. One is University of Science and Technology of China, Silicon Valley Alumni Association. and Zhejiang University Alumni Association of Northern California, and Huazhong University of Science and Technology Alumni Association of Northern California. And also for the strong support and the organizing effort from Asian American Youth Soccer Academy. Well, at the end, let me thank all of you. Have a good evening. Bye now.
Thank you.
So people are slowly logging out. Okay, 周洋你
Should I end the meeting?
Yeah, I think we can end the meeting now. Yeah. Then we can chat. We can chat maybe in the WeChat.
You're the host. You're the host.
Okay.
You do it. You end the meeting.
I'll end the meeting. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you, Max.
Bye.
Yeah, this
Thank
is
you,
great.
Max.
I look forward to seeing you at Stanford campus. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.